Welcome to Accelerate, a DLA Piper hosted series focused on AI. During the series, we will help demystify the complexities of AI regulation, risk, and how to harness the opportunity that AI brings to businesses across the globe.
Hello, my name is Conor McEneaney and I'm a legal director in DLA Piper's Dublin office. My practice focuses primarily on big ticket technology transactions, mainly in the financial services sector. So over the last 18 months or so, we're seeing a lot of activity in the market around the procurement of AI tools, AI solutions. Now, there are a lot of really interesting legal issues, legal concepts that are arising in the course of these transactions. But the one that I want to speak about today is who owns the output that is generated by these AI tools. So it's a really important question, it's a really interesting question, and it's one that's a really live issue in negotiations at the moment. Now, the temptation with this is obviously to use the traditional approach, the traditional provisions in a technology acquisition agreement, technology license agreement to deal with AI tools and AI solutions as though they're a more garden variety technology tool or piece of software. However, we think that's not optimal. Obviously, the key point here is who owns the IP rights in the material that is generated by the AI solution or the AI tool. The traditional background-foreground IP distinction that is traditionally in technology agreements is not quite fit for purpose in the AI world. And we actually don't think it's palatable really either for supply side or customer side clients. We think actually an approach is needed whereby you break down the component parts of an AI tool or solution from an IP ownership perspective, and you need to do that in your agreement. So at a very high level, what that might look like is the untrained model itself. That's obviously going to be the key piece of supplier IP. That's going to be something that they're going to insist that they retain ownership of, and they want to ensure that the contract basically says that. And that will become probably a walkaway point for most suppliers in the market if that becomes an issue. Similarly then, the software or the platform on which the untrained model sits, that's also typically going to be something that the supplier brings to the table, and as such is going to be something that the supplier will want to own the IP rights in. Again, that'll be a very key issue for suppliers. In terms of the data then, the training data that's used to train the AI model, what we're seeing emerge in the market is a position whereby whoever brings that to the table retains ownership in the IP rights in it. So if a customer is training the AI model using customer data, then the customer will want to maintain the IP ownership in that data. And if you're a customer, one important element that you need to think about when you're doing these agreements is to make sure that any license that you're giving to the supplier in relation to such data is narrow and it's focused only on the license that is required for the supplier to provide the AI tool or the AI solution. Next then, weightings and features. While obviously part of the core IP solution, they're such important components that we're seeing a trend in the market where they're dealt with separately from an IP ownership perspective. We're seeing a bit of a trend whereby customers are looking to develop ownership rights in those, and it becomes a major negotiation point. Onto then the actual trained instance of the model then. So the instance itself, as opposed to the underlying model, we're seeing a lot of customers look to own the IP rights in that, or at least narrow what it is that the supplier can do with it going forward. And then finally, on the actual output of the AI solution, so the usage data, the output data that's generated by the AI solution, it's obviously real importance, and that is something that we're seeing obviously customers push hard for ownership in, and that's something that we're seeing them generally start to get, and you see that a lot actually of the larger enterprise size AI solutions. The standard terms are actually reflecting that now. So as I said at the beginning, an overview of some of the things you need to think about from an IP ownership perspective when you're procuring an AI solution, and something that we'd be very happy to talk to you further about if that's something that you're doing in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Accelerate by DLA Piper. For more on AI, check out our YouTube channel for more videos like this, and click subscribe to stay informed. You can also take a look at our AI focus page on dlapiper.com for further insight and thought leadership, and get in touch direct to discuss how we can support you in navigating the complexities of AI.